Hi, how are we doing, guys? Welcome to this special transfer show with me and Kabir. Hi, Kabir. How are you?
Good, good, Vipul. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good, man. So I've invited you for this special show. It's not that special since we are going to discuss the ins and outs from the team for the
Yeah,
next season, and this would give us a better idea of how the team will just look at the start of the next season. So yeah, without wasting any time, let's get into it.
yeah,
So we'll discuss a bit of uh, we'll discuss in detail as well. But what we'll do is I'll just take the name of the player and then you go first whether that player is in for you or out, and then I'll decide. If it's a tie, I will leave it on to the audience to decide. All right.
sure. Yeah,
So let's start with goalkeepers. Obviously, Matthew Ryan has gone back to
yeah.
Brighton, so nothing over there. Yeah. So Bon Leno
In.
in. Yeah, he has been decent this season. Not brilliant, but I mean for me as well. Yeah, would like to keep him for next season as well. So we have Alex Rennerson.
Out.
Yeah,
I
out
mean,
for me as well.
if we have to make place for a good quality second keeper to put pressure on Leno, unfortunately, and we need the cash. Whatever we get out of him, and is a bonus. Just take it and let's move on.
I mean, even if you get a
No offense to Ranison. I think, unfortunately, whatever the club just didn't suit him. The system didn't. So yeah,
yeah, it's for me. It's not players. Uh, what you can say mistake. If
yeah,
we got into a big club and clearly Arsenal is too huge for him,
yeah.
so yeah, out for me as well. Right. David Lewis, as we know, has left us. Uh, so I'll not count him in. Cedric Soares.
I would say out, uh, but again, it depends on the kind of cash we're able to generate for him. If we could use him in the initial parts of the Carabao and maybe the first couple of rounds of the FA Cup, that's probably where he'll play. That's about it. But I would like out. If we could generate some cash out of him, then that
Okay.
would be great. But yeah,
So out for you.
yeah,
I would say in. All right. Only because we are a little light on that in that position. I mean, for me, Hector Bellerin doesn't play for me in an Arsenal shirt again.
yeah.
But it depends on Arteta. What we'll get to Bellerin, but in for me for Cedric. So yeah, I guess this is a tie. So let audience decide what to
Yeah.
do with Cedric. The next player, Pablo Mari.
In. I think he
Yeah,
deserves a chance. I
it-
think he's played well. We've got a good centre back in him, and
yeah. So
if we can
we
keep him fit through this season, it'll be good.
yeah. Whenever Gabriel is not playing, I have no problems getting Mare in because he's calm and composed on the ball. So no problems there. The next one, Callum Chambers.
In for sure. I think we keep him.
Yeah.
I think
I mean,
he's been good.
I was in the opinion of selling him in January, but then since then he has come up with good performances, and he's pretty versatile. He can play in centre mid, he can play as a centre back, and also right back, in which he has got his best performances this year.
Yeah, and it's
So,
interesting
for you,
when you see how Arteta wants to set up the team, and when we're in possession, how we end up. You actually end up having just the two centre backs at the half line. You have everyone else after that. So he ends up becoming part of a midfield sort of position, and midfield
midfield,
on the
yeah,
inside.
midfield.
Yeah, so it's actually quite an interesting position that he takes up because KT is bombing down that side. So I think he well suits that situation, and whenever he has the opportunity to cross the ball this second half of the season, it's been fantastic. So
He's
I
a
would keep
better
him.
crosser than Cedric and Bellerin for
Oh,
me.
for sure,
So
100%.
he's
Yeah.
in for sure. All right, Fiorentina.
Oh, in for sure.
It,
KT KT's not going anywhere. Chain him to the stadium if you have to. But yeah,
although he has been injured, pretty much.
I mean, we need
Uh,
a backup, but I think that would sort
yeah.
itself out. Yeah.
So let me come to the next player who I think uh, is surplus to requirement, but obviously he's a left back and he's currently at loan, was at loan in Schalke, but Schalke not going to. So, what do you think, Seth Kolasinac?
Seed out for me. Whatever we need to do, I think we need to. Unfortunately, not good enough. I mean, I loved the Bosnian, to be honest. He was great when he came in, but there are a lot of sort of defensive frailties in him. He's not. I don't think he's up to the mark, especially now at this age. His form sort of fallen off. His fitness also sort of fallen off. Um, not at the Arsenal. Not with the what we're trying to do in the next couple of seasons.
He's not that old.
Yeah, I know he's 28, but again, his fitness and sort of situation right now, I would rather. I mean, I know if we can't cash him out, like terminate the contract. I know it sounds harsh, but I think it's something that's required right now. We need to just get rid of anyone that is not going to add value to the club. It's as simple
Yeah.
as that.
All right. Obviously, Rob Holding signed a new contract in January, so
Get in,
he
Robbo. Yeah, yeah, oh, for
for
sure.
some reason Arteta likes him.
Oh, I like him too. I mean, I'm a big fan of Robbo. I think he can do well for us.
Yeah. He needs to work on his aerial game though, because
Man, he needs
I
to
think
put a couple of those headers in the back of the net.
we don't usually say this about defenders not being good in the air,
I
but
mean, he's good in
he
the air
has struggled.
defensively, but I don't think he's good in the air attacking. That's the problem. Like for me, he doesn't add that game to him. You know,
Yeah.
he's not a threat to the other team in the other box, which is a problem.
Speaking of attacking defenders, Gabriel.
Oh, in for sure. I think we need to keep a quality. When you have quality, you keep quality. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, obviously. So Rob Holding in for you, in for me as
Yeah.
well. Gabriel also in for me. Wow. Next, we move on to midfield, and the first player we are going to discuss is Granit Xhaka. Before you
Ooh.
say anything, before you say anything, I'll go on this first. I'll like to say a few words for Xhaka. I mean, we bought him in 2016-17 season, and we haven't had Champions League football since then. But it's not entirely his fault. It's basically him not getting a proper partner, him not playing in a good team, and unfortunately, I wouldn't keep him since we need to upgrade in that position. We need a proper defensive midfielder partnering Partey. As we have seen this season, Partey is not a defensive midfielder. He's more of a box-to-box midfielder. So we need a proper a Basuma type player next to Partey, and that midfield pairing looks good. Basuma partnering Partey. So we Zaka out for me. What
Yeah,
is it?
so for me, I think the fans overall, Arsenal fans, I mean, all of us, I think we owe Xhaka an apology for everything that we've put him through. I mean, granted, there've been couple of times that Granite has not
Yeah,
behaved.
as I said, it's not entirely his fault that the team is playing bad, that the team hasn't
Yeah,
qualified the Champions League for the past 5 years. It's not his fault.
yeah, because if you look at the stats, actually, he's passing this, that, all of that. He's up there, man. He's completely up there. If I'm not wrong, I think Sky Sports put him in their team of the year this year, in terms of just the numbers.
I
So
mean, yeah, he has had a solid 7 out of 10
yeah,
season, which we've given him in the player rating.
yeah.
So not
But
his fault.
unfortunately, even for me, I think he is one of the pieces where we can generate some cash, uh, and to bring in someone that would cement the kind of way Arteta wants to play. So I would say, unfortunately, out for me.
Yeah, out for me as well. Obviously, we'll keep Thomas Partey. The best of him has to come next season, and it will come for sure.
For
Danny
sure.
Sabas, Martin Odegaard, definitely they are out. Martin Odegaard's future at Real Madrid has to be seen with
Yeah.
Ancelotti.
Hopefully, Carlo will do us a favor. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a 50-50 for me on Martin Odegaard. If I wouldn't be disappointed if we don't get him, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't be happy either if we get him. So it's like 50-50. He's a
Yeah, no,
decent player.
I think he's definitely quality. I think he's someone that can uh, provide something that the team doesn't have right now. I think Emil Smith Rowe brings a very different version of the game. I mean, though they play similar roles or number 10s as they say, I think they play very differently. Like Odegaard's more of a 1-2 touch pass, move, manipulate the movement of the ball, while
Yeah.
Emil will take people on. Um, so I mean, it's an interesting one. I think I would genuinely be excited if we got him, but I wouldn't be disappointed if we didn't.
Yeah.
Like I mean,
Same
for me,
for me.
that's where it stands. Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, let's see. We'll get to know after the Euros maybe what's
yeah.
happening.
Hopefully before. I mean,
So
we can sort
yeah,
that out.
just to be clear, we'll just Emil Smith Rowe we are going to keep.
Oh, for
Martin
sure.
Martin Odegaard is not sure. Mohamed Elneny.
Oof. I think if we can generate some cash for him, I think we should say thank you very much.
I
If one of the Turkish clubs
yeah.
wants to
So
pick him up,
out for
uh,
you, right?
yeah, out for me. I
Yeah.
mean, I
I
love
mean,
Mo again, but
what did we pay Basil? I think 5.5 million.
yeah,
We have got the best out of Mohamed Elneny. That's the best you can see of him playing. Last season we managed to get it out. So we are not going to improve him further, and he is not going to improve us further as well. So for me, Emil Smith Rowe we are definitely keeping. What do you think of Maitland Niles? He's on loan
for me,
and
keep. I
could come
think,
back.
I think if we can get him to sit down and understand that he could play a part of the system if he plays that wing back, right back mix of a midfield role. Get him to understand that that's where he could have a extremely good future with us. I think he's definitely well worth keeping because again he's an asset in terms of the fact that he knows the way we want to play. He's a Highland boy. At the end of the day, he plays for the club. You can see it. Uh, but I did read some reports about the fact that there were apparently some reports where he doesn't train as hard as he should, and a couple of those things. So I was like, you know what, I don't actually believe those because I think that's just a way to push that out there.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
I think the loan was good because it put pressure in him to perform. And I don't know if you read this, but there was a fantastic article about the way he spoke to the West Brom players before the Chelsea game. I mean, there was this huge article in the Athletic where apparently he called a team meeting at West Brom. I mean, he's a lone player. He called a team meeting with the captain, sat them down, and he explained that the way they were performing was not good enough, even though that they were staring down the barrel of going down relegation. He was extremely clear with the fact that listen, I'm a 21-year-old. I didn't come here for this. I didn't come here for a retirement home. I came here to perform, to play, and we owe it to the fans, the people, the coaches, everyone. And the effect was seen. I mean, the next game they beat Chelsea 5-2. The game after that was Southampton. So, I mean, there are qualities in him that I think I would really want at the Arsenal. Um, so I would say keep in for me.
Okay. For me, he's not a midfielder because I've followed him with the West Brom and he hasn't been that great in midfield apart from that Chelsea game, of course. But he hasn't proved me that he's a good midfielder and he can get into the midfield at Arsenal. So if we can just sit down and have a talk with him because we are short on the right side. So if we can just chip in as a right back or a right wing back, or if we play a 4-3-3 next season, maybe he can play in a three. But if it's not that, I will just move him on because last season Wolves wanted him for 20 million or something, and that's good value. He's basically a Highland boy. We haven't invested anything in him apart from our time, but we need to sign a few players in that position. And if he's not going to support the team the way the team wants him to, then I think he needs to move on.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of supporting the team, Matteo Gendouzi.
Out.
out, out of my club.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it doesn't suit the system. He hasn't proved anything when he went on loan. If Marseille are going to cough up
I
15
mean, he
million,
can
let's take it.
he Yeah, but if you have a closer look at his game, if he can play alongside Partey, I think he'll be a good partner to him. But unfortunately, his disciplinary issues are too huge for me to have him at Arsenal.
Yeah, I mean,
And,
again, I think
uh,
if we can generate some cash again because we need it,
yeah,
he's the
if you
kind of
would have
players that can
would
generate the
have
money for
him
us.
last season, I think he was valued about at 40, 41 million something. I
Yeah,
think we should get 15 to 20 million
yeah,
if we want to move in out. The clubs knowing the fact that we want to sell him, and it's not
yeah, and he
like
has only a year left on his
yeah.
contracts.
So, all right. So, what do you think of Joe Willock? Would you
Oh,
get him back
keep in for sure, 100%.
seriously? Look at his record.
And not just, I don't think it's just the turn of form for me. I think when he was playing under Arteta before the loan itself, it was someone that I wanted to keep because imagine if you're able to put a front three together where you have Saka one side, Emil Smith Rowe the other, and you've got Joe Willock in the center of that. You've got three boys who know exactly how they play, and I
Yeah,
think
they're
that would
playing
be
in the
exciting to
18s,
watch.
under 23s,
Yeah,
you name it. So with Joe Willock, I only had one problem. It was his decision making because midfielders need to have good decision making, and which was missing from his game. I do think that this loan move has benefited him
yeah,
greatly because then if you, it's like if I put it all in simple, if a midfielder makes a good pass, he's making his way clear if he's a box to box midfielder. If he
yeah,
makes a good pass, he's making space for himself and trying to get into the box and score, which is what he's doing. He was doing it before, but somebody else was helping him. Now he's helping him himself, and
yeah.
he's. I mean, the passes which is spraying around is usually commendable, and then getting into the box and scoring as well, and scoring in consecutive games, not a couple of games like 6 7 games. What 6 7 games? Consecutive.
Yeah, 17.
That's a hugely impressive loan move, and I'll get him back for sure. For sure. All right, so let's move into the forwards. There are rumors about this guy following David Luiz. Willian. He's going to Chelsea. He's going to where David Luiz is going.
For me, anywhere
Yeah,
is fine. Yeah,
yeah. I just
yeah,
want him out of the club. Out for you as well.
yeah. Out. Done. I mean,
I don't think this
I
move has.
tried to make sense of it in between. I was like, maybe it could work.
Yeah,
Then I was like, dude,
we
no.
did try to
Let's
make
just
sense.
let's
Uh,
just cut our losses and move on.
Move on. I mean, if we can get a couple of millions, not couple of millions. I think his value should be around 7 to 10 million,
Yeah,
maybe.
he's on a 3-year contract, so I don't think Chelsea's ever going to spend that money. So we'll have to find someone who's willing to,
Yeah, find
uh,
someone.
and just get that done.
I mean, his agent is this brilliant guy who apparently great deal. Maybe he can find him a club.
Yeah, hopefully you can
All
find
right.
us a great deal.
Yeah, just to be on the same page, Aubameyang keep,
Yes,
Pepe,
yes,
Saka keep, Martinelli
yes,
keep.
yes.
Yeah. Who do I, who
Like I
else
said,
was? That's up for debate.
no, for me, like I said, in for sure.
Seriously, even if he doesn't sign a contract,
Ooh, that's an interesting one. But if he doesn't sign, he
because
still
he's
has
getting
2 years,
into the
right?
last year of his contract. Let's discuss like I said. He has after this season. I mean, at the start of next season, he'll be into his last year of his contract. So we don't want that situation. Since Edu had just recently told the media that he doesn't want, told us basically, not the media, that he will not allow players to go into the last year of the
Oh, of
contract.
course not. Yeah, I mean, I want them to give him a new contract. That's what I'm saying. I think he deserves a new contract, and I think,
You, you think so?
oh,
Just
100%,
like we
100%.
are linked with, I think, Musa Dembele,
Yeah,
who's
again, but I mean, I don't know how much of did you watch Dembele at Atletico Madrid? Like he was great at
yeah, I
Celtic.
did. Didn't
Yeah,
get that many starts, but then I'll just base him off of his Celtic form because he was brilliant at Celtic. And
Yeah, but again, for me, Celtic form too. Like, I mean, if you look at Edouard, who Celtic's top scorer is, I mean, he tailed off so badly this season for them. I mean, he still scored some goals. But if you look at his value, they're looking at 10, 12 million. Like, the season before that, it was close to about 35 million. And I know Leicester and Arsenal were looking at him at that point.
I
Um,
get your point because Atletico has rejected the option to get him back or sign him on a permanent basis.
yeah.
So, but then
I,
it's not his.
I don't think he'd be I don't think he'd be as effective as Lacazette. Because see, what you have to understand with Lacazette is there are a couple of factors. One, he's already in the system. Two, he's extremely good. He's good mates with everyone at the club. I'm not saying that, oh, because of that you need to keep him. I'm saying you keep that good spirit in the team. You keep that going because that makes a big, big difference. So I would say keep him. I think if we can keep him for a couple of years, then we can bring a couple of players like Balogun. For Balogun to learn of Lacazette would be fantastic, and I think that's important because I think there's our next striker. We don't need to
Yeah,
invest. We don't need to buy.
you can say that.
If if
Yeah,
we get two
I
good
can
years out of
totally
Lacazette and
understand what you're
Balogun gets
saying.
his blood in, we're good.
Yeah, I can certainly understand. But for me, if we don't offer him a contract or he doesn't sign,
Oh,
he's
then
out.
yeah, of course, yeah, yeah, of
Yeah.
course,
And the
yeah.
other thing is, which I don't want this Aubameyang Lacazette thing going on to the next season. Who will play? Will the both of them play? I mean, let's make it clear: both of them cannot play together. I mean, in this system, at least. If Arteta goes with some other system, maybe. But in this system, I don't think so. Aubameyang and Lacazette can play together
But for
because
me,
we
it
are
is.
sacrificing too much width by playing both of them together. I mean, Lacazette will hold his own in the number 9 position, but then Aubameyang is too narrow, and we lack width at the beginning of the season with Aubameyang constantly
No, but
cutting
the
in.
thing is, for me, is Vipul, if you play Oba plays on the left, you got KT who'll make up for that space on that outside. So for me, you play
That's the
both.
thing. I mean, I cannot predict when Kieran Tierney will get injured. If he gets injured, it's done. But then,
No,
if you
but
keep
the
playing,
thing is, it is about finding another left back that would. We're looking at the guy Gibb, what's his name, Gibb, the other Scottish boy, who basically actually he came out and he said he looks up to KT as his idol. So if we can get him in, apparently very similar game to KT, that could potentially work hugely for us because you can rotate KT then, so you can avoid him getting injured as much. You can rotate him properly, and next season, listen, next season we have, if everything goes well, we'll have a 50-game season and that's it. I'm
yeah.
talking about all cup games going all the way to the final in both
If you go
cups
back,
and the Premier League.
if you go back to some of our videos, I wanted this to happen. I wanted us completely out of Europe.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah,
Even even we just need to sign a few players, even if
yeah,
they are. I mean, we are not offering Europe this season, but even if we are able to just sign squad players or anything, just to play in the Premiership and FA Cups, Carabao Cups, we have a decent enough squad to get into the top four. Only if we play Premier League. That is what I want. Five training sessions, or for 3 to 5 training sessions, and then the match on the weekend.
yeah,
That is what I want for the next season, and which
yeah.
is what we have. So no excuses that for Arteta. All right. So obviously we'll go into all right. Reese Nelson.
For me, if we can get some cash out of him, I think unfortunately we have to get rid
Yeah.
of Reese. I mean,
For me as well.
personally, I like him, but he's just not been able to break
Yeah,
through, and I think
I
we
haven't seen
might
enough of
lose.
him this season, and
Yeah,
also for sure Arteta doesn't seem to favor him. I
yeah.
mean, yeah, the way he has played. One guy when Arteta came in, was playing ahead of Lacazette and Aubameyang was Nketiah, and he has been phased out. So,
Again, for me, if we
and
can generate cash because Balogun signed his new deal, I
yeah,
think
for
Balogun's
me,
more of a complete striker.
our cycles are um, centre forwards. I'm saying Lacazette, Martinelli can play in that position. Then we have Balogun, and if we have Aubameyang, obviously. So these are the three strikers for next season. So I don't see NKT in that. So out for me as well.
Yeah, for me,
All
we
right.
can generate the
Yeah.
cash, and if Brighton are hoping, and I hope Brighton are listening to this, I hope you want to take him, and if we can get Busuma at a cut price, that will be fantastic business for
I
us.
mean, we'll discuss the transfers because uh, the rumors are getting hotter and hotter day by day.
Yeah,
And once we'll get close to any signing, we'll do a
of
show on
course.
that.
Sure, sure,
And
100%.
yeah, so just to give you an update, we have put up a 30 million bid for Buendia
Yeah.
today,
I
which
think it
was
got
I think
rejected already, though.
immediately, yeah, immediately matched by Aston Villa, and which is not a good thing. So hopefully
Yeah,
we win that team war.
yeah, that'd be interesting because as long as it's down to the player, then because I think even in that situation, I think
Obviously, yeah.
more players would choose the Arsenal. So I'm quite happy with that because the thing is, I don't want us to just put money down for the sake of saying, okay, we are Arsenal and we have to outbid Aston Villa. I don't
No,
care if it's,
we really need him.
yeah,
So I don't care what happens to Martin Odegaard. If we can sign him on another loan, that would be great. We can
yeah,
handle that.
yeah,
But we need a permanent player, a player of our own in that position. Smith
yeah.
Rowe can chip in. I don't see Smith Rowe as a proper number 10. He can play in that position, but both of them can play.
Oh, they
Uh,
can play together. Smithrow has clearly
yeah, they
shown
can
that
play
if there's
together.
another number
I
10 on the
do
pitch,
think
he can still
next
play.
season Arteta is going to go into a 4-3-3 formation.
Yeah,
Do think that, and if that happens, Smith Rowe and Buendia can play together, of course.
yeah.
So yeah, so that's it. Just my last question to you. Uh, let's just say we sign all our targets. We get the Basumas, we get the Buendias, and who else have we linked with? We are linked with I think the left
Ohana,
back. Yeah,
Ohana, the Ajax keeper.
uh, yeah,
Yeah,
the keeper who apparently can't play until February, and we are signing him. I do
yeah,
think that's a good signing. He's a
yeah,
good keeper, but then he has a ban.
yeah. Which is again, I mean, it's a complicated case, but if we can, if the deal's going to come through for 2 or 3 million, I think it's definitely worth taking
I
a
mean,
punt. Yeah,
yeah. It's definitely worth the risk. But then it's like, and one thing I forgot to mention, we are going to lose a lot of players in the African Cup of Nations in January.
yeah,
So it's a
yeah.
huge concern.
That's so
I
that's
I
that's
think
an
half of our
interesting one.
team is
Yeah.
going to go, right?
No, so if you look at it right now, it is only Thomas Partey and Oba. There's no one else right now.
Pepe, Ivory
Oh,
Coast.
and Nicola Pepe. Sorry, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So these three players are going to go. If we
That
keep
these
manage to
three,
keep,
and if we sign Basuma, then Basuma as well.
yeah, Basuma will
Yeah,
go. If we manage to keep Mohamed Elneny, he'll also go. So
yeah. No, I'm saying in starting 11, you're looking at three players that are potentially out in
yeah,
that situation, and I think it's a month and a half long.
month and a half. I think it
Yeah.
starts in Jan and ends in first week of Feb. So
Yeah. So I
how
mean, it's
long.
an interesting one.
And hopefully after that nobody comes out injured, and
Yeah,
we
that's
don't
another
lose.
big factor because it's a very intensive tournament, the
Yeah,
AFCON.
just yesterday we saw Alexander Arnold getting injured and
Yeah.
getting out of Europe. So
Yeah,
we
but
don't
Saka
want.
scoring, huh? Get in, Saka, get
Ah,
in.
yeah,
Huh?
obviously.
Yeah,
Yeah, listen, Kabir. So we'll do a transfer show separately.
for sure,
With
100%.
all these players, and
Yeah.
yeah. So thanks for
Good.
today. Thanks for coming on to the show.
Anytime,
And
anytime. Cool.
yeah. So what do you guys think the ins and outs are? And I think we have most of 90% we have agreed on all the ins and outs,
Yeah.
but I think a couple of players we have missed out. So it's your job, guys, to just put your vote in, and if that player is in or out for you guys. Thanks, Kabir, again coming onto the show, and
Anytime,
see you
bro.
guys. We'll do a special show for transfers, hopefully in the coming week, and hopefully we have signed a player by then. And yeah, just before you go, we are going to do a watch along type of show during the Euros. So I hope you're up for it. Acha, which team are you supporting, by the way?
Oh, England.
Oh,
It's coming home. It's coming home.
let's see. I'm supporting England as well, but then I am too frightened about the Portuguese attack.
Yeah, I mean they've got a good squad. I think France and Portugal are
France
extremely
is
good.
always favorite, but then I
But for
don't. I
me,
don't.
actually, what a lot of people are underwriting is Germany, actually, because it is Joachim Löw's last tournament.
I mean, not everybody is in form for Germany. I
But Germany
mean,
didn't need to be players didn't need to be on form when they won the Euros and the World Cup the last time.
no,
So yeah. So
let's see.
and
Let's see.
it's his last tournament, so I think it'll be a big gungo. It'll be
But
great to see.
I do think. I mean, we are dominating in Europe in terms of Europa League and Champions League, the English clubs.
Yeah,
And now I want us to take the next step for the country, England, to just dominate in Europe
yeah,
and win this Euros.
for
All
sure.
right. Um, yeah. So let's wrap it over here. Thank you, Kabir, again for coming onto the show. And see
Anytime,
you
Lizzie.
guys next time.
Cheers.
Bye.
Stay safe, guys.